This is a piece by Franz Liszt. Whenever I think of Franz Liszt, there's so many emotions. He probably was the greatest pianist ever lived, probably including today. What he accomplished is incredibly vast. You know, he wasn't just a pianist. He was an innovator of harmony. He galvanized a movement in itself, music, and connected with heart, people's feelings, heart. That's the new piano playing. Began with perhaps Beethoven. He had the greatest career as a musician, as a performing artist. I think it was around 36, 37, that's when he decided he was going to stop performing. Of course, he performed till the end of his life, but not the way he was performing as the virtuoso. By the way, what does virtuoso mean? It implies mastery. Nowadays, when we hear the word virtuoso, we think fast fingers. Virtuoso, the word, came from the base virtue. It's mastery. And mastery of expression, mastery of essence. And that is something we should never forget. And he embodied that in his life. So he left the concert scene around in the late 30s, and 10 years later, he joined the Franciscan order. Now that's something. That's really something. Franciscan monks, the orders, were considered the most frugal, the hardest working, the most honest. And he joined that. And another 5 years later or so, he became an abbé. Basically means father. He was into a different order, a higher. And there are records showing that he was actually considered very, very important by the Vatican. Of course, he is the great musician. And he could actually use a different medium to preach, so to say. Here, this piece was chosen because the beautiful moment when it turns D major, and in the middle of the piece, measure 144, famous, where he said, basically quoted the Bible. And it's I'll wonder for this music as a translation. For the water I give him will become in him a fountain of the eternal life. So, water of life. That's a quotation of that. And so what is the Jeux à la Villa d'Este? Villa d'Este is a castle in Tivoli, in Italy. It's a beautiful, ornate building, and famous for its fountains, many of them. And so he wrote this as a trinity, 3 pieces. The first 2 pieces were called by the cypresses of the Villa d'Este. And so here is the fountains. The 2 pieces that precede this, I must mention, have the most innovative harmonies. It's incredible harmonies. What is harmony for? Harmonies is, as a lay listener, it creates feeling tones. So it's actually what we want. Each harmony gives you a feeling. Very simple. It gives you specific feelings. So in the previous 2 pieces, he was very inventive, and he created the very interesting harmonies, which give us feelings which were unknown till then. And so this one is less so. It's much more the beauty itself and much more transcending. And so perhaps that's why, because it has something to do with the water of life. That's part of the Trinity, the Holy Spirit. So, that's the introduction. And then let's hear. I'll just fix a few technical issues. Technical doesn't mean always fingers. Technical means also the way we phrase, the way we voice. They are all technique. When you start this, could you see how this one sounds quite bright? If I start, it's not so bright. What did I do differently?
You didn't accent the very first note?
I didn't accent the bass note. The bass note lends itself a grounding. So if I play the bass note, it's grounded. It sits perfectly, stands firm. But do we really want it? We probably wanted more lighter spirit and spirit. Okay, let's try. Okay, your fifth finger is playing an accent every time, and that's a habit. Okay, in piano playing, we have to destroy every possible habit. Now let's try without destroy the habit. It's still much too loud. Okay. The right hand, every single note. Every single note has to be played. You were kind of wiping the keys. You didn't play them. Let's try again. Okay. How do I know that you're not playing them? The last note, I heard it. The note before that I didn't hear it. And the note before that, I didn't hear either. So I know you didn't play them. There we go. Can that be played a little more responsibly? Every single note. Okay, this is one major problem with students a lot of times. They see, aha, in their mind, they think, that's a pattern. Okay, do the pattern. So pattern 1, pattern 2, boom, boom, boom. No, we can't do that. This pattern contains 8 notes. There are 8 notes. First one, second one, third. Play every single one of them. The next one, 8 notes also. Play every single one. The next one, 8 notes also. Play every single one. Now it's a little heavier work. Okay, let's try. Coming down. Okay, good. Try one more time. See if you can make them very, very even. Okay, that's a little better. How do we play things like this evenly? Do you know?
I usually imagine a larger beat.
Then it's not going to make you evenly. That will actually.
I can play my fingers more.
That's also very unreliable. What makes even playing is the space between the notes. From note 1 to note B, note 1 to 2, you create a space. If you duplicate that space from 2 to 3, and then duplicate again 3 to 4, you're guaranteed to have absolute perfect evenness. That's easily, I emphasize the word, easily done through hearing. Now, why do I say that if you just simply articulate your finger, you will not achieve the same thing? It's because you are not giving your finger a command when. This is the time domain. When the finger plays it. You're telling the finger, say, you play with such activity, strength. That's a different domain. But for evenness, it's a time domain. How do you create? And by listening to the space, you know, you can predict, foretell when the next note is perfectly. No question, no problem at all. Let's try. See if you can listen to the note, between the notes, not the note, between the notes. Okay, now you did very well. That was very, very even. Now let's play a little faster. See if you can speed up your mind. Let's try it one more time. Very, very good. You see how easy that is? Now, if you're thinking about your articulation in the fingers, you'll try 5 days and you won't get this. This is how simple it is. In the next passage, he actually marked non-legato, but with pedal on each first beat. Let's try non-legato, and not long pedal, but short. Okay, now, this is a late Liszt. How old was he? He was in his 50s when he wrote this. Okay, he was already a master. And so he no longer needed this to tell us how to play the piano anymore. He just sat down and played it. So, we have to work our butts off, technically, so that we can also sit there and just play it, and no longer work at it. By doing so, you start to hear the very, very, very long lines. And now, the next section, not yet, there's 2 more chords, but next section, you're hearing. Now, I want you to just play the left hand. Yeah, okay. You're counting. You were counting. You count da, 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 da. Da dee da dee da 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 dee. No longer counting. You know the melody already. That's wonderful. Let's try one more time. Let's go back. Play that one more time, even better. Okay, one more time. You have pedal at your disposal. You have 2 pedals. One on the right, one on the left, at your disposal. Use them and create a beautiful line. It's quite beautiful. You can imagine your favorite singer. Imagine everything that you can. The piano is at your disposal. How you want to make it sound, that's yours. Let's try again. More pedal. Okay, very beautiful. Now, ask your right hand to be with it. Be a good pal, good friend. Yeah, it was very, very good until the staccato came in. And then you're saying, oh my God, I have to play the staccato, and the staccato is like a little clockwork, and it cuts everything into four square again. What do? Negotiate. Negotiate. This is the trick. You negotiate between the hands so that you get a maximum appearance of this, but with still accommodating the left hand. One last time. Yeah. That was much, much better. It was much less of a deterrence. Now, there's no good place to begin. Let's just hear this so that everybody can hear what that was, what I was talking about. Water of life now comes. This is water of life. Okay, that's good. Richard Strauss took this and put in his Alpine Symphony. You can hear that, you'll find it. Now, I was trying to make you sit quietly. You have seen pictures of Franz Liszt, right? At the piano, looking up into the clouds. Cloud 9, of course, you know. And it was Claudia Rao who taught in the last century. His requirement was that he asked the student to sit, and then he says, look straight. So he looked straight. He said, no, you're not ready to play yet. Now, without changing your head position, look up 30 degrees. The eyes look up 30, no, not the head, eyes. Eyes look up 30 degrees. Now you're ready. Now you're ready to play. Oh my God, I'm not going to be in control of my hands. This is the passage. You could apply that. And so, but more practically, what can we do to make it sounding like Word of Life? What's the difference? So before it was judo, play of water. Now here it becomes more serious, more transcendental. It's the harmony. It's the bass. So this. This is where you can play this left hand in such a way it sets a different realm. A different realm. You set it. You set it, set it, and set it. And that will differentiate this from what came before. But we have run out of time. I've given lots of cues here. This is what you think about it. You did this two voices rather well. We don't need to. This thing. There are three of them. What do you think that means?
Each one builds up to the last one.
This is a bit too far reaching. Many people believe Franz Liszt was very religious. I mean, yes, he entered the monastery. It's the Trinity. It's a lot of times people believe this is his way of expressing his the essence of Trinity. Om, 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 Dim, Om, Om. You know, let's try that. Just right there. Just so. Don't rush it. Slower. No, one more time. Can you play it even slower? 1, 2. No. Play the second one later. It's each one is equal. 1, 2, 1. And not too loud. 1, 2, 1. yes, okay. This is where technically you do have to think about how much you strike the notes. That's something you have to take time to culture. The note with or without the syllable, with a stroke or without the stroke. And when do they have strokes? When shouldn't they have strokes? This is a lot of work, but it's also a maturity of being a pianist. Sometimes I hear piano playing, quoted, piano playing. And that is when it is decided just one way or another way. But if you're making music, that will be blurred. You have to kind of shift and know when you have the notes, when you don't. Yeah. Okay, that's enough for the list. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.